And it looked like bouncing from country to country and Instagram fabulous and all of that. But honestly, what it was grief on display with track shoes on. I've made 5 videos on this channel so far. One about, are you quiet quitting your life? The second one about, are you giving everything and still don't feel like enough? The next one I did was about leaving the US twice, and this is what it did to my nervous system. I did another about what's the one thing holding you back, and then I did a 2-parter on have you grieved, have you really grieved? And it was talking about my friend who hadn't grieved her mom in 20 years and my own long grief journey and trying to avoid grief myself. And if you've caught any one of those videos so far, I need you to hear this. They were never about 5 different topics. They were one thing dressed up in 5 different outfits. Hey sis, hey brother, I'm Dr. Sarah Samantha Ann. Welcome to The Watering Hole. If it's your first time here, I'm really glad that you're here. And I gotta say, I wasn't planning on making this video today, but I got a lot of comments and some messages connecting dots that I hadn't even seen myself yet. And so now I've seen them and now I'm here, and I don't really think I was ready to really talk about them, but I am today, so here I am. When I made the quiet quitting video, I was talking about being present in your life in reality, but totally checking out of it in every other way. It's not laziness. That is a form of grief. It's a form of avoidance. It's a form of grief. When I was talking about leaving the US and resetting my nervous system, I wasn't talking about vacation and just living your fabulous life. I was talking about running from grief and not being able at that point to actually know how to sit with it and to deal with it. I've recently come into the realization that I'm a runner. And I personally, when all hell broke loose in my life, I heard one word, and that was run. And that's what I did. I started running, and it looked like bouncing from country to country and Instagram fabulous and all of that. But honestly, what it was grief on display with track shoes on. When I made the video about giving everything that you can and still not feeling like you're enough, it wasn't about self-esteem problem. It was about grief not being processed enough and having it show up in your personal relationships and my personal relationships, and trying to use old coping mechanisms to deal with it and failing miserably and putting an undue pressure on the people in my life to rise to an occasion that I myself couldn't rise to. And then when I did the 2-part series about have you grieved yet, I was talking to you about my friend, but I wasn't really talking to you just about her. I was talking to you about all of the people that I'd met up until that point who hadn't grieved people that they loved 15 years, 25 years, 30 years, 5 years even. And even my own self, who I hadn't grieved my mother a year into her passing, I hadn't even started grieving her yet. And so that was not even some disjointed conversation either. It was about different versions of people that I'd met and younger versions of myself that I was not ready to deal with yet. Here's the rub. Unprocessed grief doesn't ever really look like what you think it's going to look like. It doesn't look like you sitting in a room crying all day and all night, all the time. Sometimes it looks like that. For me, for a long time, it looked like that. But it doesn't always look like that. Sometimes it shows up as being a track star and running to another country. Sometimes it shows up in self-destructive behavior. Sometimes it shows up in burying yourself in work. Sometimes it shows up in not talking about your person and just acting like nothing ever happened. Sometimes it shows up in crazy, crazy ways. I didn't set out to make a channel about all of that stuff separately. I set out to create a channel about grief, and I set out to create an environment where people, women and men, who found themselves losing who they were as a result of losing their favorite person or losing a spouse, a mate, a child, a career, an identity, a life that you built, that those people could find a safe space here, not just grief for grief's sake, but grief that leads to new life and a thriving kind of experience that when you're in the throes of grief, you don't believe exists, you don't believe that you qualify for, and you don't believe that you deserve. I set out to make a channel about grief and about thriving. I just didn't know how many rooms grief hid in. So here's what I want to ask you. Where has grief been hiding out for you? Has it been hiding out in jumping from place to place? Has it been hiding out in jumping from bed to bed? Has it been hiding out in not talking about your person for a year or 5 years or 25 years? Like, where has grief hidden for you? Maybe you're calling it burnout. Maybe you're saying, I just feel like I need to be by myself and it's been 10 years. Maybe you're saying, I'm just not a people person anymore. Maybe you're quiet quitting and saying, I'm here, and you know you're not here at all. The question is, where is your grief hiding out for you? I'm gonna keep pulling at these threads and I'm gonna share my story because I feel like knowing that someone is not coming from some theoretical place, but actually walked through roads and walked in shoes that you yourself found yourself in or are finding yourself in, I feel like it does more to encourage that good can come for you as well. So I'm going to be sharing some of the stuff that I've been going through and that has helped me get out of my pit and has helped me start creating another kind of life. And I hope that you'll join me and that you'll find solace and find hope and find joy, yes, and find permission to both cry and to grieve and to be at the bottom of your pit for as long as you need to be at the bottom of your pit, but also know that there is a light that will guide you out of that dark place and that you deserve to live out of the shadows and in a big, wide, bright, wide open space, and to live the remaining years that you have here in this realm where we are learning love and learning to love and learning to be loved, that you use your time well and you honor the life and the love that you received during the times that you were with your person or during the times when you were happiest in the life and the lives that you created before. The truth is, I haven't told you everything. I mean, I'm a storyteller. I don't know if you got the memo, but I'm a storyteller. And I haven't told you like the half of it, but I'm ready to tell more stories now, and I'm ready to open my heart to you and, share the things that were ugly and unpleasant and the things that came and cleaned up the messes on aisle 5. So if this connected some dots for you today, and if you feel like, hey, she's talking to me, it's not a coincidence. You're here because the universe, the creator, God led you here today. And you were led here because it's time to heal. And that's the whole reason that this channel exists, to heal. This is actually what Finding Your Glow, my first book, that is currently on pre-sale, is all about. And so if you want to know more than a video can tell you, you want to know more details, if you want to skip ahead of the class, then there's a pre-order link down in the comments. Please check it out, and if it speaks to you, buy it. So, okay, loved ones, tell me in the comments where grief has been hiding out in your life. Put it down in there. I absolutely read and respond to everyone. And I just want to say that maybe you're not feeling very special today. Maybe no one has remembered that you are sore and tender on the inside. Maybe people have just continued to go on and live their lives, and it feels like you're forgotten. It feels like the people and the life that you created before didn't mean much because the world kept spinning when it was supposed to stop. Maybe you're feeling that today. I want you to know that I understand and I'm here with you. And it's okay to feel that some days. It's okay to feel that. It really is. But I want you to know how much you're loved. And I want you to know how much God loves you. I want you to know how much I love you. And I want you to know that you have found a safe space in this community to just be as you are, and that is enough. And that if you keep walking along this road with me and with us, you're going to find brighter days suddenly start appearing in your life. And you're going to find the courage to do the impossible, which is to start over. So God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. I love you, and I'll see you soon. I'm Dr. Sarah Samantha Ann. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this if you know somebody who needs to hear this as well. God bless. See you soon.